Faced with a surge of migrants who are overwhelming state and federal resources, President Joe Biden decided to go against his own policies. He just reversed course and agreed to extend the southern border wall. Ad reaction is pouring in tonight. White House correspondent Owen Jensen reports. Owen.
Tracy, in making his controversial decision, President Joe Biden told reporters today that basically his hands were tied for legal reasons. That's how the money has to be spent. But the criticism has been quick and fierce.
The Biden administration approves 20 more miles of barriers between Texas and Mexico, following a record number of border crossings. Republicans using the president's own words when he said, "There will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration," to highlight his flip-flop on policy. And the former head of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, blasted previous attacks on Republicans, writing, "The hypocrisy of this administration is truly stunning. Just 3 years ago, building the wall was racist and foolish." But today, President Joe Biden told reporters he really had no choice.
The border wall, the money was appropriated for the border wall. I tried to get them to reappropriate, to redirect that money. They didn't, they wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what it was appropriated. I can't stop that.
Do you believe the border wall works?
No.
The border wall extension also upsets environmental groups because President Biden is rushing construction by waiving 26 federal laws. An advocate with the Center for Biological Diversity says the government is casting aside protections for endangered species, clean water, indigenous graves, and more. Still, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas calls the border barrier an immediate need. He is one of the president's cabinet members, meeting this week with their Mexican counterparts. Meanwhile, Ukraine, a Russian rocket strike hitting a village store, dozens dead, emergency crews searching the smoldering rubble of damaged buildings. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, meeting with European leaders in Spain seeking more support from allies, calls the strike a completely deliberate act of terrorism. And at the White House, President Biden, who will soon give a speech on continued funding for Ukraine, which he says is critical, meets with his national security team.
Now back to the border wall extension decision by the Biden administration. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador called constructing a wall a setback, adding it does not solve the problem. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.